Neo had it all: a job at a top software company, a booming mini-disc side hustle, a ticket to a long, happy life. But that all changed when he fell under the spell of a pill-pushing pimp named Morpheus. In the murky depths of the underworld, crowning the biggest piece of shit is a tall task. Among the contenders vying for this dubious honor are murderers, drug dealers, and a plethora of ne'er-do-wells. But near the top of the heap stands pimps, and at the top of the pimps stands Morpheus. You might be protesting, Morpheus is not a pimp, but if we peel back the layers of the Matrix for a moment, the evidence becomes quite damning. Prepare to swallow the red pill of truth as we delve into Morpheus's blatant scumbaggery. To ensnare and control Neo, Morpheus busts out the pimp handbook and pulls every trick. Whether it's grooming and manipulation or false promises and exploitation, he doesn't miss an opportunity to prey upon Neo's vulnerabilities. We'll present 8 individual pieces of evidence to support our Morpheus is a pimp claim. But let's just start at the surface for good measure. He looks like a pimp. From the alligator coat to the shiny purple 3-piece, he could not be more flashy. Fucking guy looks like a pickup artist in a zoot suit crashing a Halloween party. The only thing missing from his getup is a fedora with a peacock feather. He operates in a slum. Could he have picked a shadier part of town to meet in? The building's an absolute dump, and the flea pit interior makes the train-spotting crack house look like Buckingham Palace. He's a groomer. Like most pimps, Morpheus uses flattery and attention to gain trust and emotional dependence. After stalking Neo online, when they meet in person, he purrs, "I'm so honored to meet you. You're special. You've always known something was wrong. Your stunning intuition brought you to me. I'm the only one that can help your sweet ass. We'll be a perfect team, baby." He's a pill pusher. Morpheus doesn't say, "You don't have to take any pills at all if you don't want to." He says this is your last chance, as if Neo will die if he refuses to bow to peer pressure. He uses his incredible powers of seduction for recruiting. Think about how many innocent victims Morpheus smooth-talked. We don't see all the ones who died or killed themselves before Neo, but it's clear that he charmed Trinity, Cypher, APOC, Mouse, and Switch, who's just a blonde Neo. His alluring and flirtatious habits are undeniable. Consider the opening line to Neo.
"I don't know if you're ready to see what I want to show you."
That line exclusively precedes slipping out of a silk robe to expose genital piercings. It just feels slimy. And speaking of unwanted sliminess, Morpheus is a master of the go-to move for creepy bosses, slinking up from behind and caressing shoulders. He's such a hypnotic, silver-tongued devil that he might have even seduced an agent. While Neo and Trinity storm the compound, Morpheus and Agent Smith are alone in a room together. And we don't know for sure what went on in there, but when the other agents burst in, Smith jumps away from Morpheus and hastily adjusts his earpiece as if he's a hooker zipping up her blouse during a sting.
"What were you doing?"
He's a complete liar who offers nothing but false promises. The only way he could get Neo or anyone in his stable to come to the real world is through outright lies and negging. His whole pitch is,
Zion is awesome. Don't you want to discover the truth? Your life here is fake. You live in a simulation, and simulations are gay.
He deliberately omits that life in the real world is aboard a decrepit ship in the bowels of an annihilated Earth where humans subsist on nothing but lumpy, cummy gruel while hiding from robotic assassins. And for a guy who hates simulations, Morpheus sure is eager to get back into the Matrix at any and all opportunities. He can't wait to leave the real world.
"Show me."
He's like, yeah, load up the martial arts simulation, the woman in red, or just anything, goddammit, get me out of here. Cypher, the true hero of the movie, said it best.
"He tricked us. If you would have told us the truth, we would have told you to shove that red pill right up your ass."
To which Trinity, like a hoe with Stockholm Syndrome, retorts,
No, Morpheus set us free. He loves us.
and Cypher, like another battered hoe, says,
"You call this free? All I do is what he tells me to do."
once he has you, you can't leave. After Neo discovers the nightmarish truth of the real world, he obviously wants out immediately, but Morpheus's bitches can't just up and go. Neo says, "I can't really go back, can I?" Morpheus replies with the dumbest question ever, "No, but if you could, would you really want to?" The only excuse he offers for his villainous deceit is the same excuse of the Nazis. "I did what I did because I had to." Oh cool, all's forgiven then, duty's duty. He associates with other scumbags. Tricking adults into ruining their lives is despicable enough, but Morpheus's idol, the Oracle, takes evil a step further by grooming children to be the one. The Oracle is Morpheus's Ghislaine Maxwell, except instead of teaching how to jerk goons, she teaches how to bend spoons. She doesn't give a fuck about the children either. When Neo breaks the vase, she's like, I don't give a shit, I'll make one of the lousy kids fix it. The other potentials are simply disposable, future moneymakers.
Bingo.
Even the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar are completely expendable to her. If she gave a single fuck about them, she could have hinted that Cypher may murder them all. But of course, she didn't predict that, because in addition to being an irredeemable slime bucket, the Oracle is also the biggest charlatan in the entire universe. Everything she says and does smacks of the cheapest roadside parlor trick, like when Neo arrives and her minion smugly proclaims,
Hello, Neo. You're right on time.
or when he enters the kitchen and she says, I'd ask you to sit down, but you're not going to anyway. Yeah, there's no other chair in here. And back to the vase. She perched it in an extremely precarious corner of the table right in the middle of a doorway. She's just setting booby traps so she can say, see? I'm the Oracle. Or when she tells Neo he's not the one, Neo says, Morpheus almost had me convinced, and she sneers, I know. No, you didn't. It's truly baffling that store-brand Miss Cleo manages to maintain any credibility at all, considering she's never made a correct prediction ever.
Me of being a fraud. What, because I've been wrong 17 times?
Yes.
It's exceptionally telling that after Neo asks, and she's never wrong, Morpheus answers, try not to think of it in terms of right and wrong. Oh, perfect. That way she's always right no matter what. She's probably got a junk drawer overflowing with scratch-off lotto tickets that she knew were going to lose. We can't definitively say how many other the ones she was wrong about, but Morpheus stressed that she'd been prognosticating for a long time, so it's gotta be a ton. The sheer fact that there's a room full of potential should be an enormous red flag. That's like saying, I know who's gonna win the Super Bowl, and then betting on every single team at the beginning of the season. See, I'm the Oracle. Let's forget the fact that she was also wrong about Trinity and Cypher being the one, so again, credibility should vanish immediately, but she was wrong about Neo too. She flat out said he was not the one. Now there's undoubtedly gonna be people who are going to say,
No, she was right. He became the one after the agents killed him. Therefore, technically, that earlier form of Neo wasn't the one.
of course, the old try not to think of it in terms of right and wrong cop-out. I mean, if you believe that, then the Oracle has you brainwashed better than Morpheus the Pimp. So in light of the evidence presented and the deliberation of the aforementioned 8 points, we pronounce a verdict of guilty upon Morpheus for his role in the procurement and manipulation of vulnerable individuals for illicit purposes akin to that of a low-life pimp. The sentence to be imposed is nothing short of the most severe punishment conceivable: life in the real world without possibility for simulation.